American citizens should leave now. We're dealing with one of the largest armies in the world. It's a very different situation, and things could go crazy quickly.
That warning comes as Russia ramps up its military exercises in Belarus and sends more warships into the Black Sea. Actions that U.S. intelligence officials say could signal an imminent invasion. McLaughlin is back with us from the capital, Kyiv. Thank you both for joining us on this Friday. Aaron, let's start with you. So why has President Biden issued this new warning now, and what does it mean for any Americans still living in Ukraine?
Well, the U.S. government has been warning for days now that U.S. citizens should leave Ukraine, citing the COVID threat as well as the military buildup on three sides of the Ukrainian border. The president's words last night simply punctuating that warning. There's about 7,500 Americans registered with the U.S. Embassy here in Kyiv and perhaps thousands more unregistered. And the president's message to those citizens that you need to leave now, warning that in the event of an escalation, in the event of an invasion, the United States will not be sending troops into Ukraine itself to evacuate those citizens, instead staging the evacuation from nearby Poland. So should Russia invade, it will be up to those citizens to get themselves through the western portion of the country and out to the Polish border. You know, I've been speaking to U.S. citizens here. Many say that this is their home now. They've been living here for years, and they're adamant that they want to stay. They say they want to stay and fight for their second country.
That's who are there. And again, this is the meeting of what's called the Normandy 4, sometimes called the Normandy format, and it's trying to sort of revive this Minsk II agreement that really is just about resolving the situation in the eastern part of this country, in the Donbass, not about even the larger issues around NATO and European security. But essentially, those diplomats, they couldn't even come together to agree on a statement about why they failed. It was just such a demoralizing experiment. And, you know, this has been a week of failed diplomacy. We saw also Liz Truss yesterday, the foreign secretary of the UK. She had a meeting with Russian diplomats that ended terribly, where essentially she was told that it was you know, sort of like the deaf leading the blind. It was insulting. And this is what we've seen time and time again from Russian diplomats and leaders, essentially talking down or diminishing Westerners, Western diplomats and leaders who are trying to resolve this situation. It doesn't leave much hope for a visit next week by Olaf Scholz. He's the Chancellor of Germany. He's kind of the last best hope that Western leaders or diplomats could be able to resolve this through diplomacy. He doesn't have necessarily the confidence of the U.S. or a lot of other Western capitals, so it's hard to see how his visit is necessarily going to improve things.